Oh, my dog just fell off a sofa. Hey guys, hopefully everybody's doing great today. Just wanted to share with you a couple things that I've learned along the way on how to make your drums hit harder, make them crispier, just cut through the mix easier. And I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna start with the most important thing. First of all, when you start making a beat, compare the volume on your PC to other beats. Not so much to other music because it's already mixed and mastered, and you don't want to compare it to that like a Spotify song. But find a YouTuber that makes beats that you like, and just make sure that everything on YouTube is turned up, the players turn up all the way, and then adjust the volume on your computer as loud as you want it to be, as your beat that you're making want to be, as your beat that you. What the fuck? Anyway, yeah. So start off with that. Make sure you adjust the volume, gain staging, whatever. The next thing is, fuck if I know what the next thing is. Uh, oh yeah. Make sure you route all the drums to one channel. I usually do like this. Not all the drums. Don't route the kick and the 808 together with the snare and hats. That's stupid. But just you see this channel right here. I routed my hi-hats, my open hats, my snare, my claps to this channel, so I can not only control the volume together, but I can put effects on it together, and I can increase the high end on it all together. It makes it sound fuller. It makes it sound like it's actually, you know, it's one thing together, and not just, you're not adjusting it separately. And it also just makes it easier if you ever, you create a beat and you want to lower the volume. You don't have to fuck with every single slider and mess up your mix. You could just, lower all of your drums all together. But what I do with the drums channel, then after I route all the drums to it, I put a compressor on it. Don't compress it too hard. You're gonna make it sound boxy and just, like a piece of paper hitting in your speakers. You don't want that. You still want it to be, you know sound a little professional and not compressed to shit. So don't compress it too much. Honestly, I know jack shit about compression. I just do it by ear. But I mean, obviously, I know what attack release is. The ratio, it's pretty self-explanatory. But you just gotta play around with it. Um, but definitely just don't overdo it. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. I use Ozone, pretty good, like it. Then I put some reverb on it just to make it a little brighter. I don't know. It just creates a. You don't have to use it, but I like using it. It just creates this atmosphere to it. Um, After that, I put a EQ on it. I don't like to remove too much low end on my drums because there's still low end on your drums, even if it's not a kick and 808. If you remove too much low end from your clap and snare, and then it's not gonna be punchy. So don't remove too much. It's not like a melody where you remove 300 hertz off of the bottom end. Just a little bit, just like around 100, like 130. Play around with it. Definitely not too much, because it'll make it sound just too plain, too soft. And actually, I don't know why. Oh no. High end. I mean, obviously you need the high end in your drums, but I usually remove anything above 19K because apparently your ear can't hear it unless you're a dog. So if you're a dog, don't remove the above 19K frequency because you can hear it. So, and then after that, I put a decapitator on it. Just adds a little more crunch to it, makes it a little brighter. Distortion, a little drive. You can use any kind of, you can even use Fruity distortion. Just don't go ham with it. Just a little bit. just a tiny bit. You see the mix knob right here? I'm only using like 16% of it, and just don't go too ham on the distortion. You don't want your drums distorted. You just want that little crunch. And then after all of that, you see I increased the high end. You also just do it by ear, but you definitely want to increase the high end unless your drums are already bright as hell. But increase the high end, and it just makes it sound nicer and brighter. Um, and that's about it, guys. Just make sure. Uh, the only other thing I can say really is what stops your beats and your drums from cutting through the mix is a lot of times when you make your own melodies, especially, you start layering that shit up. There's like 5 layers on the beat, on the melody, and it just the drums can't hit through it. It's hard unless unless you EQ your melodies really 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 well. It's just hard. So keep it simple. Like this beat, it's a guitar. I'm pretty sure it's a guitar. I don't remember, but bruh, just don't go ham with the melodies. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. I know you want to show off. I know you want to be Beethoven, but just relax. Keep it simple. Don't mix your melody too high. Obviously, I don't think I mentioned it. Cut the low end out of the melody. If it's still too much, cut the high end a little bit out too. The drums hit in this area as well, like the hats and some of the. So here's what the drums actually sound like with all the plugins that I spoke about and all the techniques that I've used. This is regular Spins 808. I put distortion on it as well. The kick, I like to use a Fruity Bass Boost on it, not all the time. Camel Fat plugin. I have a preset that I made for Rat Kick. On the master channel, I always use a soft clipper, and after a soft clipper, I use Maximus. I think it's a preset. You gotta play around with it, but it's basically, makes it a little louder and punchier. And on the Ozone, I use literally just the rock hip hop preset with some of these. This it cuts off the low end, so it's not as muddy. Adds a little bit of a frequency around this range, so the kick is punchier and the 808 is punchier. Lowers the EQ around 400 range, so it's not as muddy, and increases the mid range just so it sounds fuller. You also have to play around with it. Every mix is different. There's not one thing that you can do for all your beats. So, and obviously you gotta level everything properly. That's also not something that I can just teach you or anybody can just teach you. I feel like it comes from experience, it comes from practice, it comes from adjusting the volume on your PC and your layers, drums, beats in general, after you compare it to other beats. Because you might be making a beat and it sounds fine to you, but in reality it's too quiet. The volume on your PC is just high as hell, so you don't notice how quiet it is. So always make sure you have to compare the volume to either your older beats that you like, that you mix really well, or other beats on YouTube that you like. That's I think that's the biggest key. Just always gain stage, always compare, like make a melody, compare to a melody on another beat on YouTube, the volume of it. Put in hi-hats, the clap, snare, compare the volume of that, and once you start doing it for a while, you're gonna train your ear to recognize how what the volume on your beat is supposed to be, what the leveling is supposed to be with the compared to the overall volume on your PC. You know what I mean? So that's about it, guys. I hope you learned something. I'll try to make more